most classes, it's about trying to develop their creativity. Now, if I were doing tennis, it would be, everybody would say, oh yeah, they're developing their tennis. I'm not teaching them tennis, that'd be the first hour. But it's about trying to get them to be better at being creative, because most people are creative. All people are creative, actually, so I guess I can push this thing now. I'm gonna do that. So, why do you focus on creativity? Because this is basic research. It's actually from the University of Indiana University. Results suggest that over half the variance in adult creative achievement is explained by divergent thinking. Divergent thinking is a portion of creativity, 3 times more than intelligence. It's 3 times more important to be creative than it is to be intelligent. So it's like, yeah, you measure intelligence, but creativity is more important in terms of lifetime achievement. Okay, think about basketball. At a certain point, like about here, it doesn't matter if you're taller or not. From here to here, you don't get to be a better basketball player. It's basketball skills. Now, when you get above here, you're kind of like, you're not a very good basketball player because you're kind of clunky, and very few people make it that far, very few people make it that tall. So what we need to look at is how do we develop their creativity? Can it be changed? And of course, theoretically, we think that intelligence can improve. Actually, people go to school for that, you know. But the idea is that, yes, we can train people to be creative. So, what do we got next here? Okay. The bad news is, since 1991, measured creativity in school children has declined since 1991 for all school children in the United States. Now, Obama said that creativity and innovation is how we make a living in the United States. Creativity is going down for various reasons: online games, excessive screen time, restrictive schedules, standardized testing, all of those that come into it, behavioral problems, probably medications in there, but it is going down. So I have actually done some testing. I went out to talk about this. I use what's called the Torrance test. They're pretty close down here in one of these parts called abstraction of titles, in that it was slightly different, and then when you looked at it, there was a little bit of closeness, but most of the time creativity is going down. So kids are getting worse. There's something in creativity called the 4th grade slump. 4th grade, that's the peak of, everybody says, oh, the children are creative. It's like, and so then we train it out of them by sending them to school. So 4th grade spread generally peak and generally goes down from there. Some people escape and get out of the way. And, you know, it's like constructivism. Constructivism means that students learn things sometimes in spite of the teacher. And so that's sort of what I'm working from, and this is the basic work we've done. We're still looking at other aspects of this. I did this like 3 or 4 years ago, but this is sort of the base summary in terms of what happens. Okay, so I'm going to show you how the most basic aspects of creativity are tested and evaluated. It's to cause you to generate ideas. So I'm going to ask you to take out a piece of paper, and you're going to have to generate written, verbal answers. Okay, so that's sort of the basic start in terms of how you develop an understanding of creativity. This started about 1950, 1952. There was a speech to the American Psychological Association talking about the need to evaluate creativity, develop forms to do that. I worked with the Torrance test that was actually developed at the University of Minnesota, and then he realized he didn't want to stay in the winter, and he moved back down to Georgia. So there's the Torrance Center at the University of Georgia, but the tests have been published since then. The most standardized test, but that's the process that it starts from. Guilford did the same thing. The president started that as well. And so what we've got then is we've got a basic measurement of creativity. You can say, how many ideas can you come up with in a given period of time? This is called divergent thinking. And so that gets us into defining creativity, gets you to understand what's going on. What is creativity? Creativity is the ability to develop ideas that are new. It's like, it's basic, 2 basic parts. It's like, is it new, or is it unique, or is it original or rare? This is semantically challenged. It's not a problem. It goes all over the place, not much different. The other one is that it has value. They're applicable, useful, appropriate, of value to individuals or society. And then the slight one that's a little bit further than that is it happens to be in context. Something that's creative in Cambodia may not be creative here, or vice versa. My proof is that I taught a massive online open course. The first one I did, these are grilled tarantulas. And my student wrote in and she said, we eat them all the time. They're a very common snack. They're very high protein. It's very good for you. They're great. That's not creative. It's just different than what we're used to. However, when she put it on a piece of bread that she never had as a sandwich, she'd never done that before. So that was creative. So there's the actual, in context, something that's creative. So what you're doing in context is important. So evaluating creativity is exactly where we started. We looked at the idea of fluency and the idea of number of ideas or answers to a given prompt or challenge. There's a big question that'll come up a little bit later about how I teach my class. This is from one of my assignments, which is wear something different. Can you tell if she's right or left-handed?
She's right-handed.
She's right-handed. How come?
Because she couldn't reach her face.
On the
to
other
do it.
side, that's right. Okay, second measurement of originality is the rareness or uniqueness of the answers. And you see the answers over here on the board. Maybe you can see them, maybe not. But you heard them. We're going to test them for originality. The way you test for originality is you compare either with a group, if it's unique in a group, or you test in terms of the general population. Somebody out of the hundreds of thousands of people that take the test have said the same damn thing about tin cans. Somebody in this room might have. So if it's unique here, so these are not for tin cans. Okay. Did anybody else have store things of any kind? Okay, that's not. How about, did anybody say use a telephone? Anybody say start a band?
I said as a drum.
As a drum.
I said music.
Subsets. I think it
Subsets.
still fits. Yes, good point. You guys can get together and start that band. It's good. Decorate. Is that decoration?
Yes.
Decoration? Some of those, yep. Doghouse, toy house. Okay. Metal chair. Toothbrush holder. Okay. I think it was paintbrush holder.
Those are subsets of each other. They're all whole.
Yeah, well, it's elaboration
It's all-
detail. As cups for drinking.
I had that.
Okay, they've got, and this says STH new.
Something new.
Something new.
Melt.
Oh,
Melt.
melt it down, makes it, melt it, then you say melt it down and turn it into something else. Okay, that's not it, and use it as a hat. Have the right size head, the right size can. Okay, these aspects are original. This, actually, that was a mistake. That's why I wear black shirts. So, this paintbrush holder was not listed by anybody here. Metal chairs were not listed by somebody. Okay, then that, lost that one. Your score just went down. And so people are evaluated based on how unique their ideas are, because that's one of the basic definitions in terms of creativity. The next one's supposed to be, it's on this thing. Originality, the rareness or uniqueness of answers. The next level, you end up evaluating those things across both the verbal and the physical test. And then down here, flexibility, it's a number of different types of answers. What happened with her is that she had a number of different answers. Build a house of something. Doghouse, toy house, playhouse, whatever. She had holding stuff, a number of different answers that way. And so when you evaluate the flexibility of it, you're not looking at different categories, but when you see through it, it's up from stored, telephone, van, and decoration. These tend to be different types of things. So it's not only the raw number of answers, but it's the different directions that they're heading out in terms of what's going on. You can go through a whole lot of answers. The last piece, which may have messed up a lot of people, probably including Jonah, is the idea of elaboration, is that you could also add a whole lot of detail in terms of what you're doing. It's like, there's this part, and my tin can gets like this, we can turn it into a van, get all sorts of different sizes, make them tuned to different things, have them in different colors, perform in street performance. It's only one idea, but the detail of the evaluation is something also that's evaluated. So those are things that we're trying to, anybody say make a sculpture, make a fish out of tin cans. So probably not. That's for the rareness, but I could also
That's
pose
when you
these-
change the shape of it, which is what makes it special.
Right, yeah.
Deconstructing
Yeah,
it.
it's like her melting it down.
Melting
So,
it down.
okay, so teaching creativity. Somebody built this is pencils. Somebody did a whole bunch of pencils in terms of our College of Design, but it's a nice graphic that comes out of it. Okay, so I can tell you a little bit about my class, and you'll run I'm not sure when we're running out of time. Let's see, where's Mike going to wave the flag and say you got to sit down.
Oh, I forgot my role.
Great, so we're starting at 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, you're getting
Okay.
close to the end.
So I
Wrap it up.
teach a class, and based on a couple things, and I have a structure that's on big beliefs. Because one of the things about beliefs is that if you believe you're creative, you can generally be measured at being 10% more creative. So if you just think you're creative, that's the start, that's the first step. So that's like one of the first lessons of the class. Habits is the other thing they tend to focus on. I want to change people's habits because people do things out of course. You brush your teeth at a certain time, you get up at a certain time. I want to change their habits so they make other choices. Whatever it is, like go home a different way every day. It's like that's the thing you do. You will go someplace else. Go one block out of your way, you will see a different world. One block will make a difference, and just start doing that all the time like this afternoon. So that habit of variance is the thing I'm trying to build into people, and I do that through repetition. I train them. I'm trying to develop their skills. I can give them techniques for developing creativity. And the least important part is this, knowledge. I'm not teaching them about creativity, I'm trying to make them creative. That's the thing that's most important, and then some of the things that have, here's what's going on, what I try to do is get them to generate multiple ideas. One of the habits to do is always come up with more answers than you ask for. Linus Pauling, winner of Nobel Prize twice, best way to have good ideas, have a lot of ideas, throw the bad ones away. Ideas are like digital images, you can throw them away, they're free. Like, you don't have to tell anybody, it would be helpful. You've got 1,000 ideas, and only one turns out to be good. I'm satisfied, not a recipient of a Nobel Prize. Well, the Nobel Prize. Okay, so what I say is, in my class, the only wrong answer is one answer. Yeah, good. Just one. So yeah, great, very good. So what does this do in the class? Generally, I get a measured increase of about 50 to 70% in terms of some aspects of the creative thinking test. I do a pre-test every semester, I do a post-test every semester. And so I'm able to track what's going on. I use the verbal model of the Torrance test of creative thinking. So this is kind of a couple of years that are going on in terms of what's happening. What I've also found is I've gone back and tested them 2 years later, and that their measured increase actually sticks. So like, oh, okay, something happened and they changed, they became a different person. These are some of the examples, and okay, so I get into some examples. The major thing I do in my class, I give them an assignment every week to do something different. The first one is eat something different. And the idea is, oh, I'll go eat Italian food because I've never had that before. And, well, it's not the original. Chinese, one is Chinese food that gets me. So, because we have about 5% of the class comes and said, I've never had Chinese food before. And you go, well, you know, okay, you can do that, but a billion people have Chinese food yesterday. They just call it food. So it's like, stretch a little bit more. Ask them for something unusual at the restaurant. Oh my God, I'll eat dog. So this is a friend who had actually lived in Asia, and he had, this is tempura fried Buddha fish wrapped in bacon and chocolate and deep fried. So, this was this semester. So she made soup, but she did have new shoes, but she did put the plastic bag in the shoes, so then she... Happens a lot, and then it's like another one is talk to someone else. But the whole idea is I keep getting them to try to do these different things, and they're like a zone of proximal development. You cannot make them too embarrassed. You want to get them to be a little embarrassed, because then after they develop a callus. Then after a while, they say, oh crap, I can do that. So end of the semester, they're like, yeah, I'll go, who cares? The Teletubby onesie, dressing like a wall, dressing like a knapsack, and that's it. One of the assignments is a little more reflective. It's like, do something your significant other does that you never do. And she dressed up. And she came to class, I didn't even recognize her. He went to Victoria's Secret and got fitted for a bra, which is like,
Oh my.
and that was, Victoria's Secret was very forgiving. Like, they videotaped the whole
I don't
thing.
imagine it was the.
Shaving comes up a lot. Saw him before. Ian said that Duncan, his son, is a significant other and always wears a diaper all day and uses it. And so did Ian, all day at the university. And Ian also takes a bath at the end of the day, but this was, you do something you used to do as a child. And I think that's, yeah, going through some more. This was dressing as my mother's table, where she could actually put a picture of me on it. And she actually did wear this on the campus connector bus.